know that your job is easy. It is not easy, but you volunteered to do this, and you're pressed with some hard decisions to make. What I ask is in your resolution that you look at the numbers. Some of this is a self-made problem with school of choice. So in your discovery, find out if you made everyone go to their home school, what would the numbers look like? So that's part of just the process in looking at, if we made all of our students go to their home school, what would our numbers look like? So that's part of what, thank you for doing the right thing and not voting on this tonight. And you're probably all familiar with what is pork barrel spending, right? Everyone know what that means? It's in a government bill where you just throw a bunch of shit into a bill. And so part of what this resolution from School Works was throwing a bunch of shit to get some of it passed, and some of it no one's going to notice. So, and I'm specifically talking about Whitney, Ernie, but look at it on your face. So to be very clear, schools need to be closed. There is no question about that. Okay, fiscally speaking, schools need to be closed. I support that. It's terrible, it sucks, but it's the reality of what is in front of us in terms of fiscally being responsible and putting in programs into other schools that we can support our students. What I didn't like a lot tonight was some pontificating by some of the school board members when you did have your speaking. You limit our time to 3 to 5 minutes. I wish you guys would pass a resolution sometimes where you limit how long you guys get to pontificate on whatever point that you want to get across. I get you need to earn votes and you're politicians and you might have other ambitions, but we can cut it down a little bit. Specifically, I want us to talk about Sue Yu. Sue Yu is out here and she used the word multiple times, I am concerned. Well, so am I. She tried to shove this vote down multiple times. Multiple times that Sue Yu tried to push this down. This is a picture of Sue Yu at an event at Cerritos Library 2 years ago with Gracie Vandermark. Does anyone know who that is? The Anti-Defamation League and the Jewish Federation says she's a danger to society. And Sue Yu is standing right here next to her in front of a California Department of Education, state of California, insignia with a red line crossed through it, smiling next to her. And this is the woman that's saying, we need to pass this tonight. She was clearly reading something, and it was clearly altered as she's speaking. So someone is feeding her something. If you had it pre-written, great. But as we all know, there's a PRA request that will now be submitted to find out what electronic communication you had and who was feeding you your resolution and your immediate resolution right after that. I know you're smart, you own a tutoring company, you're really good at your job. You lost legitimacy when you stood on the stage with that woman, when he told Hispanics to not spend money on quinceañeras and traveling to Mexico. You lost legitimacy when you flooded this boardroom with members from your church who don't have kids in this school district, who have nothing to gain other than your, at that time, election for president of the school board. And somehow this board voted you president, which is, I used the word earlier, farcical. So you trying to ramrod this thing tonight, and you saying I'm concerned, and you worried about ICE, and you worried about all this, it's just such a ruse, and it's sickening. And I'm so disappointed in some of your members supporting your positions. We know who you are. It's very clear. Your voting record, who you associate with, your stance on things. So I'm not saying anyone has an easy job here, but you did the right thing tonight by not pushing this through. So when I say pork barrel, it's just like Congress right now is talking about the big, beautiful bill. It's negotiating. Put this in, take this out, move that, close two. Don't do the Whitney thing. You don't, Ernie, the one thing I was disappointed in tonight is that you wanted to just ramrod the entire thing and say, we can go back afterwards and make an amendment. And that's not how things work. Once things get voted through, it's so hard to bring them back. So it was the right thing to go back and look at what we're going to push through. Close the schools, and as I said earlier, give the first priority to the students who are going to be most affected by this. The buses, access to school of choice, access to Whitney, whatever it may be, psychological, mental health support. So do your job, You're all CEOs up there. A CEO's job is what? To give bad news. Thank you.